Aloha everyone, happy Aloha Friday and also happy Juneteenth. I am your host, Dylan Chase Lee, and welcome to the 13th installment of Manoa Valley Theater Live. It's our lucky episode, number 13, and can you imagine, we've been in quarantine for almost 3 months now, or a little over than 3 months, I should say. But here you folks are, in my living room, straight into yours. But enough of my talking, let's bring in the main man himself, Kip Wilburn, and see what he has to say. Kip?
How's it going, Dylan? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Doing all right. Wow, has it really been that long that we've been in quarantine?
Yes, it has.
Oh my gosh. It's about time to get out. What do you say?
Yeah, it is time to get out. I'm losing my tan over here.
Yeah, but as we're opening up, we keep getting these spikes. So, we had 27 today.
Yeah.
27, and then we had, in the last 7 days prior to that, we had 70. So that's almost 100 cases in 8 days. So,
yeah,
there are going to be more cases. We're not out of this. We got to open up. I saw a great T-shirt the other day. It said, "Be vocal, buy local."
Yeah.
It kind of captured both the things with the Black Lives Matter as well as opening up the economy. And you know what? We can. We really can, but we just all got to be cautious. We've all got to protect each other by wearing the masks, by distancing. Just take care of each other. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Hey, so what's been going on at the theater? I'll tell you, the highlight of the week this week was something that came to us just out of the blue about 3 weeks ago. I got an email from someone who said, "Hey, I'm a second grade teacher in a Title I school, and can we collaborate?" I wrote back, "What kind of collaboration did you have in mind?" She said, "My kids, a lot of them, they don't have the means to have, face coverings. And so can you maybe make some masks?" And it was awesome. And I said, "Sure, absolutely." And so this week, I believe you got a picture.
Yes, I do.
Ember Brock came to the theater, and she picked up the 70 masks that our costumer, Jennifer Hart, made. And it was such a thrill to be able to help out, to reach out in the community in a way, especially right now when nobody's at the theater.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ember. Hats off to you for reaching out and taking care of your students. And hats off to Jennifer Hart, who did all the work as well.
Yes.
So good week this week. What's been going on with you?
Nothing much. So I've been scanning in a lot of things. I gotta say, I give you folks in the office props, because on my first day, I thought, sitting in AC, just scanning stuff into the computer, this is gonna be fine. But once you do it for a week, it's so boring. No offense.
Hey, working on getting it all digitized.
Yeah.
Get rid of those old file cabinets, which I appreciate your help. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, our new segment, well, actually we did last week, but we're going to do again this week. And we like to call this one My 2 Cents.
Yeah.
And so just have a little message for you guys today on Juneteenth. MVT, we first teamed up with Excellence Happens, LLC, and Project One Voice to celebrate the annual Juneteenth celebration. June 19th is a holiday meant to recognize the effective end of slavery in the United States. Juneteenth, the portmanteau of June and 19th, has been commemorated by Black Americans as an Independence Day in Texas since 1866. It's a day to celebrate the emancipation of the last remaining enslaved African Americans in the Confederacy. Over the years, MVT has worked with many talented Black actors, directors, and producers to educate and entertain with such shows as For Colored Girls, Colored Museum, and Flying West. After Flying West, our team and audience were treated to an amazing talkback with a descendant of the original settlers of Nicodemus, Kansas. We have been proud to support and promote the work of Black actors, directors, and will continue this long into the future. This week, a key Honolulu City Council Committee passed Resolution 20-154, proclaiming June 19th as Juneteenth, and an annual day of honor and reflection going forward for the city and county of Honolulu. However, we still remain the only state in the country that does not officially recognize this day as a state holiday. Today, we encourage every one of you to reach out to your state representatives and ask them to take up this issue. And that's my 2 cents.
All right. Well, thank you, Kip. Very, I didn't even know Juneteenth was a holiday, and that's just goes to show how much we actually learn about the things that our fellow African Americans have gone through while in the United States.
Right. I wouldn't be really familiar with it had I not grown up in Texas, because it was a big deal as I was growing up.
All right. Well, Kip, what would you say about our guests for the show today?
Oh, nothing I could say, on the stream. I'm telling you, no. We got great guests. Dylan, bring them on out, and you guys get started.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you. We'll talk to you later, Kip.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest on the show is a veteran stage, television, and film actor, a radio personality, and an MC. He was last seen on stage for Manoa Valley Theater's production of Allegiance, and he's also appeared in Manoa Valley Theater's productions of The Princess and the Aesop Peanut, Happily Ever After, and Once Upon One Not a Time, and he can be heard on the radio from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on KUMU's Rise and Drive morning show. Please help us welcome to the stream today, Devon Nekoba. Devon.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you, Mr. Dylan? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
By the way, he was in Happily Ever After with me, so that's how he knows.
That's how I met Devon. I met Devon doing Happily Ever After, where we spent a total of like 2.5 hours on stage watching the show happen.
We watched the show every single night, dude. Yeah, it was kind of the seat in the house thing. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many stories just from that one show alone. Hopefully we'll get to talk to them. Talk about them later.
Yeah. Some of them, I don't think the statute of limitations is up yet, so I don't know if we can talk about some of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially Oki. Remember when Ryan Okinaka was on the stage, and Devon and I were also on stage because we were watching. We were the narrators, and we hear this loud pop, Do you remember that, Devon?
Oh yeah, it was really loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we looked at each other, we went, "What was that?"
Yeah, it sounded like something fell in the back.
Yeah. And then it turned out that he popped his Achilles.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
It was gross. Yeah.
And yet he came out and finished the whole thing. So it was quite impressive. Talk about the show must go on. So yeah.
Total trooper. But enough of that. Let's get into what you're all about, Devon. So you were born and raised in San Francisco, and then you attended high school in Hawaii.
Okay, wait. So I was born in San Francisco. We moved actually from San Francisco when I was 3.
Oh,
so I barely remembered. We moved actually to Hilo, and then moved to Hakalau, and then we moved to Kona. And when I was about 11, we moved to. This is going to take the whole 10 minutes that I have here, so I don't know if you want me to go through the whole thing. And then we moved to Oahu when I was about 11, and then I went to. We moved all over Oahu and ended up in Kailua. Went to Kailua High School. Went to Gonzaga in Spokane, Washington, and then came back home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, was the reason why you folks were moving around a lot? Was your parents part of the military?
No, my parents are actually teachers.
Oh, okay.
My mom was an English teacher. My dad was a history teacher.
Oh, nice.
And back then on the Big Island, they had these things called the teachers' cottages. So Kona Waina, the way they have the way they used to do it in rural areas is they'd have teachers' cottages because that way they could sucker the teachers into living there because they go, look, we have a house for you. They had a little kid, so they said, okay, shoots. But it was a great way to grow up because all of the teachers were all in that kind of that same area, and they're all still friends with my parents to this day. Yeah.
Nice. So of all the places that you lived in while you're kind of moving around until you eventually got settled in Kailua, what would you say was the best place that you lived in?
You know what? They were really good. All of them were good for different reasons. Like San Francisco, I can't even talk about because I was 3 and I don't remember nothing.
Yeah.
Like we went to Disneyland every weekend. I don't remember any of that. But I know Big Island was really good because you do a lot of fishing. I know you look at me now and you go, you went to the beach? You
yeah.
But no, really, I was quite the outdoors person when we lived in Kona, just because you had no other choice. Plus, my grandfather's a really big time fisherman. And then we moved to Oahu. Kailua has been the place that I've been at the longest, so it's probably the best time. I mean, you kind of I grew up. It's where my love for theater and all that stuff was born as well. So,
nice.
Thanks, Mr. Bright.
Oh, so you participated a lot with Castle Performing Arts?
Well, kind of. My senior year, they started the Castle Performing Arts program, which had Castle, Kailua, Kalaheo, and King Intermediate. They put us together and they said, hey, do a show. And Mr. Bright was in charge of it. And it was my senior year. It was the first year they were starting it. And he came to my class and said, hey, I want you guys to audition. And I said, I get out of class? And they went, yep. They said, shoots. So I auditioned and my life has never been the same because Mr. Bright really taught me what theater was like, what that life was like, to form that bond with people that you just don't get unless you do theater. Right?
Yeah. I mean, theater really brings out the vulnerableness that a lot of people often hide in everyday life because, they don't want other people to
pick at it and tease them on social media. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, there was no social media back then, so I didn't have to worry quite as much. But I mean, I did theater at Gonzaga all 4 years that I was there.
Nice.
Back, started doing stuff, and I've been very fortunate in my life because Mr. Bright kind of showed me what theater was like. Then I was able to work at Gonzaga, and then I did theater with Lisa Matsumoto and also with Kumukahua. Kumukahua was a really big one too because you're working on, and you know what that's like. I mean, you're on that stage and everybody's around you and they are 3 feet from your face.
Yeah.
You perform and it's like, whoa. So I got to kind of experience all of it. And then with Lisa folks, and then again with the Bright Foundation, I got to be with my family, meet all of them, and really get a sense for the joy and the family that theater can bring for you. So, and doing Manoa Valley Theater shows has been kind of like that too.
Yeah, I definitely remember the first show that I did with you, which was Happily Ever After. There was a lot of the people who had done the plays before, and they were all just kind of looking out for one another within the show because, for a lot of people, the Lisa Matsumoto plays, it hits a specific heartstring in here because of the legacy that she's left behind. Could you kind of just go over what was it like working with Lisa?
Lisa was a powerhouse. She was amazing and had this ability to sort of distill what local life was like. But she also was able to take people that she saw who had a specific talent and write for them specifically. I mean, the reason why Once Upon a Time happened in the first place, which was the very first show, was because she was writing it for school when she was in UH. And Tamara Montgomery, who you probably know from being at UH. She said, "Hey, you should do this as a show." And so she said, "Oh, okay. You, my friend, come on out, let's do this show." So a lot. It's the reason why when you watch the shows, for those of us who are old, that golden time of when the people who originated these roles did it. It's just it brings back floods of all these memories. But the main thing that she instilled in it is this joy and this family atmosphere. It's don't leave people on stage by themselves and go dancing off. Like help them,
Yeah.
But also, just to be joyful and find the aloha in everybody. That's one of the things that she tried to teach us. And again, it was cool for me because Mr. Bright taught that to us as well. So I mean, I've been very fortunate that two of the people who were very big in my theater life taught me more about life almost than theater. Yeah, but at least the least experience was very cool. Yeah, and to be able to bring it to people like you who never experienced it. I think those of us who did the shows for a long period of time, kind of in the original format, we feel a sense of responsibility to pass that mana'o on that we learned from doing those shows to the people who do it for as it goes along, because we realize too we're going to be too old pretty soon and nobody's going to want to see us on stage doing these shows. So we have to pass that on to another generation and make sure that they understand it, because the thing that we realized while we were doing the show is it's really easy to take the show and just throw it up on stage and do it. I mean, I've seen it. People take it and they just do it. But there's a certain feel that you can give to the show, and a lot of it is all behind the scenes, and it's all the actors working together as an ohana that makes the show sing. It really does. When you have that heart in it, you can't help it. You just it all comes off of you on stage, and it's really cool. Sorry.
No. I mean, it just shows your loyalty and your respect for Lisa and for her shows, and it's commendable because it comes from a very special place for all of you.
Yeah, and it's not what's funny is it's not a very actory place, because those of us who've done the show are like, no, we're not really actors. I mean, they're actors. They're people with talent, like yourself, right? I mean, you do a show and you can morph yourself and do all that kind of stuff. And most of us, we get up on stage and they go, "Oh yeah, that's Devon." I think in Lisa's shows, I had to cross dress once, and I had to play a Chinese prince once, and that was the only times I really had to stretch. Everything else was me being on stage doing this, and you know what I mean, and just being me.
Yeah.
And just having fun on stage. Although I think you'll agree that being the narrator is the best job. I mean, it's the most stressful, because I don't know how many times I'd look at you on the side of that stage and I knew nobody's going to go, "Dylan, where are we? Like, what's happening next?" And you go, princess song. Like, okay, princess song. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
It was really a team effort.
There were so many times during that show, like, there are a lot of mishaps, and because we would watch the show every single night, we knew like if one little thing was wrong, like oh no, something's going off the rails.
The three of us would look at each other, and go, okay, wait, how do we get out of this? What?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So if this happens, in fact, I think I remember that happening. Like something was happening. They were doing something way off at the other side of the stage, and we knew we weren't being seen. And the three of us look at each other. Okay, so when they come back, if this thing happens, then we got to do this. Okay, then we gotta, we're trying to do it all really quietly so nobody can hear us because we're all mic'd up. It was crazy. It was crazy. Good fun though. Good fun.
Yeah. All right. So Devon, one last question for you.
Yes.
This is in regards to 94.7 KUMU. Could you tell us a little bit about your morning show, about what you do for the morning show as well?
I do the morning show with my radio partner, Esme Infante. It's a 2-person show. And actually, funny enough, Esme and I met from doing Lisa's shows. So
nice.
It's sort of a continuation of that. And it's just, we try to have fun. And in these times, we're finding it's hard to find those moments to laugh and to enjoy yourself. We've found also too that because we both had different lives that don't have anything to do with radio. It's nice to be able to also stop down and we've talked about Black Lives Matter. We've talked about the COVID-19 thing. So we've been very fortunate to have the LG come on, the mayor come on. We've had Congressman Ed Case come by and add some flavor to the show that makes it different. So we like to think that we can do a little bit of everything. Plus, we do giveaways, and every so often, when Esme loses a contest, I make her sing. So that's always fun too.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Devon, for coming on the show today. Remember, if you folks want to listen to Devon and hear his lovely voice, catch Devon Nekoba on 94.7 KUMU in the mornings from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it every day, weekly?
Yes, actually we are on 5 to 10 Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 on Saturday, and then Sunday I'm on from 2 to 7. So it's a lot of me. It's a lot of me in radio. So sorry about that. And by the way, I want to thank you for letting me go before James, because that brother is so talented. I'm really glad I don't have to follow him, because people be like, oh, it's just Devon. He's just talking. Wait till you guys see James. It's gonna blow your mind. He's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Devon, and we'll talk to you later, okay?
Yes. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, like Devon spoiled, James Mayers is a multi-talented actor, musician, and composer. He was MVT's music director for our productions of Rent, Toxic Avenger, Peter and the Starcatcher. He has also appeared on our stage in Spring Awakening and Next to Normal. Please help us welcome to the stream today, James Mayers. James?
Hey, everybody. How are we doing? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for joining us. You're joining us all the way from Las Vegas.
Correct. Yeah, I moved out here 4 years ago from Hawaii.
Nice, nice. How is the weather right now in Vegas? Is it getting hotter?
Oh, it is so hot. Yeah, it went like to 100 overnight.
Oof. That's not preferable at all. You have the AC blasting?
No, yeah, we have the AC like 24/7.
All right. So, James, what made you move out to Las Vegas in the first place? What got you out there?
Just kind of trying to, well, as you guys know, in Hawaii, it's just mostly cost of living was number one. Just still living paycheck to paycheck, even working full time. It's tight out there. So it was definitely hard to leave, but I was trying to just kind of find somewhere more affordable and chase, hopefully some other music opportunities. So part career, part livelihood.
Yes. So, you grew up in Hawaii, correct?
Correct.
Where did you grow up in Hawaii?
I'm actually from the west side. I'm from Honokaiahale in Kapolei. And,
nice.
Yeah. And similar to Devon, I was actually born in California, but moved out to Hawaii when I was 2. So all I know is Hawaii.
Nice.
But I did move around a lot because my dad is in the military. So I would spend a lot of time in Hawaii and Germany as well.
Oh, nice. Where did you folks stay in Germany?
We were in Mannheim for the first tour and Wiesbaden for the second tour, and I ended up graduating high school in Wiesbaden. Nice.
Do you speak any German at all?
Yeah, especially kleine Deutsch.
Nice. I know Kip. He speaks a little bit of German because he did a lot of opera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's really cool. All right. So, what got you specifically into music? Did you start off with learning an instrument or singing?
Yeah. So it all started when I was about 6 or 7. I heard Moonlight Sonata on the radio, and I was in the car with my grandma, and I said, "Hey, I want to learn how to play that." And my grandma was like, "Absolutely, let's get you in piano lessons." So I started doing piano lessons. Yeah, from a really young age, just because I got interested in the song, And then from that, it evolved to trumpet, and then guitar, eventually singing, and then just being on stage and so on and so forth. But it all started from piano.
Nice. So how many instruments are you able to play that you would count as like comfortably play? Like you could get by playing a few chords?
I would say that I can play 3 instruments professionally, like that I would feel comfortable being paid for. And that's piano, voice, and guitar.
Nice.
And then like within guitar, like bass guitar, you know what I mean, ukulele and stuff. But then outside of that, just like from a composer standpoint, I could play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and pretty much anything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very musically inclined.
Right.
And, are your parents at all, like, are they efficient or not efficient? Are they able to play instruments at all?
No, both of my parents are actually not musical, like in the performer standpoint, but they both really love music. They're both like really like, they're definitely the reason why my tastes are so broad, like growing up on rap, reggae, rock, classical, all of it, and that's definitely thanks to my parents.
Mm-hmm. All right. So James, on your YouTube channel, James Mares Music, right?
That's right.
You have a video of you singing Ku'uhome o Kahulu. Could you talk a little bit about that arrangement and that piece?
Absolutely. Ku'uhome o Kahulu, I arranged that for my mom's birthday. It's one of her favorite songs. And when you're a little tight on funds, sometimes you just want to make your mom something instead of trying to find her something she's not even going to like or use, right? So
exactly.
Even as an adult, I'm making these macaroni picture frames, but I made that song for her. I arranged that version for her because she had grown up on that, and thus I had grown up on it. And then like as far as like the actual arrangement goes, I've been inspired by a lot of Jacob Collier lately. He's a really young YouTube composer who uses these really thick textures and similar to my arrangement, just those 7 voices and all these things. And that really inspired me to just, how many Jameses can I throw in there? How many guitars can I throw in there and make this? How many? I got like every note of the scale in one chord at any time. It's tight. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So as we said in your intro, you were MVT's musical director for numerous shows. Could you kind of go through the process of what it takes to be a musical director, especially for a large scale musical like Rent?
Oh man. Yeah. So for me, like the first thing and the most exciting thing is getting my hands on the score, because like first you find out that you're doing the show, and then you got to wait for Eric or whoever to give you the hard copy. So between that week, you're just listening to the to the music and figuring out everything you can. So what I do is just listen to the music as much as possible, get my hands on the score, and then it's score study time. I jump in and I see like every part. I'm only going to have 12 instruments really when this score calls for 15. So just kind of cutting the score down.
Yeah.
And then once I have the music under my belt, I can tackle the rehearsal schedule, and you know what I mean. So it's a lot of prep work up front, just as far as score study and rehearsal scheduling and stuff. But once you get the ball rolling, it's just trying to mitigate problems before they happen and diagnose things accordingly, music wise.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of music, James, I understand that you have a song for us today.
Yeah. And
would you be comfortable with sharing that song with us today?
Yeah, I would love to. This is an original song of mine. It's called "Talk with Your Hands."
Ooh.
It's from my singer-songwriter phase from about 10 years ago, so it's definitely on the older side, but it's a James Mares classic.
Nice. Take it away, James.
Thank you. I'm so sorry, tea time is approaching. It's snowing outside, I think you should get going. If cats and the dogs are what make up the rain, then we live around and but are the same. I'd love to sail to the emptiest island and live off the land like the land was alive. You are a walrus and you purr like a lion. Your hair is the shade of the loveliest lies. Your hair is the shade of the loveliest lies. You talk with your hands. You are a man. You are the luckiest man in the world. You are a pearl. We're all the same. We are insane when we talk with our hands. She is a cancer, a sickness within you, a mighty diversion, that's just the beginning. Their love is waning, it's shrinking and dying. She's seeing a soldier, there's no use in trying. A little bird told what his ace in the hole was. He's all mouth and trousers, he's all skin and bones. His kids are all dry runs and his wife will combine them. She shoots from the hip and her lips are alive. She shoots from the hip and her lips are alive. You talk with your hands. You are a man. You are the luckiest man in the world. You are a pearl. We're all the same. We are insane when we talk with our. You talk with your hands. You are a man. You are the luckiest man in the world. You are a pearl. We're all the same. We are insane when we talk with our hands. When we talk with our hands. Hey, thank you very much.
Exactly. I think that was the first time we've had an original song
cool.
on our show. And I'm just not listening, but I'm looking in the private chat right now, and Devon says that he is super glad that he didn't go after you.
Thanks, Devon. Nah, Devon, you know you can sing, man. You're crazy.
Yeah.
He likes sitting the bar low.
We have to get Devon to dance for us like he did.
Something.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, James. And for those of you who are watching, you can see more of James and his musical arrangements here at youtube.com/JamesMayersMusic. Thank you, James, for joining us.
Thank you.
What do you say we start closing down the show?
Yeah, it sounds good with me. I wanted to take this opportunity real quick just to remind everybody out there if they could please donate by calling 808-988-6131 or visiting ManoaValleyTheater.com. One more time, the phone number is 808-988-6131.
And thank you so much for that plug, James. And now, let's welcome back to the stream Kip and Devon. Hey.
Thank you, guys. What a great show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, please
Devon,
don't forget to donate to Manoa Valley Theater.
You know what? I was just about to say, Devon, next time you have to sing, but with that plug, I mean, hey, I can't.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, thanks everybody for joining us again this week. And remember, please do donate. Listen, we have our Give Every Month program, our gym program. And, put it on your credit card, $25 a month. You won't even miss it. And then it'll help us. All right. I appreciate it. And Dylan, take it home.
All right.
Thanks, Dylan.
Actually, during the show, we were emailed some photos of the kids from Ember Brock, showing them wearing the masks that were made by our costume.
Oh, cool.
Art.
That's so cute.
Check it out. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yep. You have to practice outside activities while being responsible at the same time.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
thank you, Ember, again.
Yes. Thank you, Ember.
Sweet.
Thanks. Thanks again for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Working on that jungle back there. That's amazing. That jungle's getting bigger.